Reading is thinking. While you are reading, you often make connections. Today's lesson is how to make connections while you're reading. Here you see a graphic organizer that's used to help kids make connections as they read. Notice that this connector, this graphic organizer, says that you're going to be writing something down from the text. It also says what you write is going to link something in your memory. It might be a text-to-self connection, it might be a text-to-text connection, or it might be a text-to-world connection. Whatever kind of connection it is, it's going to remind you of something. When you use this kind of graphic organizer and you copy something from the text, remember to use quotation marks. Here's a picture out of your Rigby Reader. We're going to be using this bit of information to help us make a connection. Remember, as you read, you are thinking. And as you are thinking, today you're thinking about what connections can I make to this bit of text to other pieces of information I already have, or background knowledge I already have. We've practiced making text-to-self, text-to-text, and text-to-world kinds of connections. As I read this passage, I'm going to be looking for words or thinking about other text that I've read before. Here it says, 1 match hissed, 2 lanterns lit, 2 riders set out for Lexington. Already I see a word that I've seen before in the other text we've read in our Rigby Reader. I see the word Lexington. I know that Lexington was a spot or a town where a battle took place between the colonists and the British. So I can connect this text already to the text that we have read about the colonists fighting the British. The faithful match, the rolling hooves, the only sounds that Boston heard while the British slipped across the Charles. So once again, I've read about Boston before, and I've read about the British. And now I'm going to stop and think, what connection can I have? I know that I've read about Lexington, Boston, and the British and other text in our Rigby Reader. This makes me think that this poem is going to be about the battles that the colonists. I know now that this poem must be about the conflict or the battles that the colonists have had with the British. Here I'm remembering the words, 2 riders set out for Lexington. It's a quote from the book, so I'm going to remember my quotation marks. Now I'm going to think about what does that phrase mean to me. 2 riders set out for Lexington. Remember, we can connect this to text that we've already read in our Rigby Readers. This reminds me of that story we read about Sybil and her nighttime ride, and how it was an emergency for her to go and warn people about the approaching British. This is a text-to-text connection, and it reminds me about Sybil's nighttime ride. Reading is thinking. While I'm reading, I'm always thinking about what the author's trying to tell me. Making connections can help me understand what the author wants me to know.